America's Pulse Network welcomes you to the Pulse Podcast. Today we've got a packed show, from breaking news to informative topics that will keep you well informed. So, please click the subscribe button to get notified of upcoming episodes. If you like what the APN's The Pulse Podcast talks about, then please share the Pulse with others. During this episode of The Pulse, the host looks forward to your comments. Tonight's APN's The Pulse Podcast starts now.
Hey, there's my producer on there. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Pulse. That's the other Damon, the man behind the curtain. He's our great producer for the show. But thank you for tuning in. This is another episode of The Pulse Podcast brought to you by the Great America's Pulse Network. We don't have as many people on as usual. Everyone is either busy or sick or something like that. And I hope Seth comes on. And unfortunately, Seth, I hope after this monologue and the breaking news, he's on, because he had another stint in the hospital with his foot. So I'm hoping he's able to make it. But I just want to go into the breaking news real quick and just talk about this. Today's health policy news, we're seeing like a systemic shift in the medical establishment on transgender surgery for minors. It's something that could reshape how medicine and politics intersect. The nation's largest plastic surgeon group, the American Society of Plastic Surgeons, has now rejected the pediatric sex rejection surgeries for children and teens, recommending that gender-related chest, genital, and facial procedures be delayed until at least the age of 19. Now, let me tell you why that is at the age of 19, because they can't get sued by performing that on minors, because there was a lawsuit that was just won. It was a girl who had double mastectomy, wanted to be a boy, and then she decided, I made a mistake, and she was a minor when it was done, and she got sued for a couple $1 million, and she won the lawsuit. So why do you think they came out and said it? Because they don't want to lose their money. They're making money off of mutilating children, and now it's like, oh, wait a minute, they can sue us for this now. We just lost our first lawsuit. So that's breaking news for me tonight. You'll see all the breaking news going across the bottom of the screen. But just a quick monologue. Tonight's conversation really comes down to trust in institutions, trust in leadership, and trust in narratives that we're constantly told not to question. The government just reopened after another shutdown. That's why I labeled the first episode, Washington on pause. I put it, I'm sorry, for our first segment, Washington on pause, because it was like a partial government shutdown. But nothing was actually fixed. I mean, it's the same spending fights, the same immigration battles, the same political leverage games they're still playing, where they're waiting for the next deadline. Again, like, how many times are they going to shut it down? They're going to threaten a shutdown. We elected you. Do your damn job. All right. Stop toying with people's lives, over your, political gain. So, I mean, for working Americans, this cycle feels less like governance, more like instability by design. And at the same time, we're watching long-standing institutions quietly reverse course in issues they once claimed were beyond debate. From medicine to culture to federal power, we're seeing cracks form in what used to be presented as a settled silence or unquestionable authority. That raises a serious question. Are these course corrections driven by evidence and accountability, or by political pressure, public backlash? And that's what I think it is. So tonight, we're pulling this apart from every angle. What's actually happening, who it impacts, and whether the chaos we're watching is incompetence or strategy. This is the pulse, everyone, and we're just reacting to the noise. We're looking at what's underneath it all, because there's always an underlying thing that's underneath of it, and everyone has an agenda, and that's what really pisses me off. You're an elected official. We went out there and voted for you. We rely on you to keep the government open. Rely on you to do your job, not just play with people's lives. So with that, I don't know if Seth is on, so I'm going to bring on our special guest that we have tonight, Jack Brangan. Jack Brangan.
Hey, Damon.
He's been on many times. He's recently ran for assembly in LD6 in Camden County, New Jersey. So
that was a lot of fun.
I'm sure it was.
Would have been more fun if we had we came out victorious, but we made gains. That's the important part.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you guys definitely did. And we went up against an incumbent in New Jersey, been in for 30 years. I mean, this guy is like a shoo-in to win every single time. His name is known. He hasn't really done anything other than hurt this state and his district. He just gets away with, going around and showing big checks like Publishers Clearinghouse.
Yeah, he's the more than anything, he's the bag man for setting up money flowing into Camden. Unfortunately, of all the billions of dollars that have that flowed into Camden, the citizens, the people that actually live in Camden, have been getting a really poor return on investment. They don't seem to be benefiting, maybe from a marginal standpoint. But there's tens of billions of dollars that have been poured into that city. And the return on investment go to the power brokers. They're the ones that get richer and richer. And they do this not so much with cash going into Camden, but tax credits. So if there is a structure that's going to be built for $100 million and the owners expect to be writing a check for $100 million, well, the state will come in and say, well, we'll give you a tax credit for $100 million. So it's the laws to make that happen are written by Lou Greenwald. And I'm not saying none of the citizens ever benefit, because I'm sure they've gotten jobs here and there. But I know that one example, the Philadelphia 76ers practice facility was $86 million to build. The owners got an $82 million tax credit. And there's only 11 people from Camden that are working at that facility. So
America's Pulse Network. The mainstream media is bought and paid.
We're back.
Oh.
Yeah. So the return on investment for the citizens is very bad.
No, that's a good point. And we were talking about this before, and I started looking into it. And those tax credits are actually sellable if they want to sell whatever. Yeah, and we'll get into that on the Jersey Shore podcast and all that. We're going to break it all down. It's going to be multiple segments on this, because this is a serious thing. I mean, it's illegal. It is. But if people knew actually what was going on, that you're getting these tax credits from taxpayer dollars, and you're a corporation, and then you can actually take those tax credits and sell them as, even at a higher price too.
Yeah.
So there's a lot there. So
yeah,
we'll get into that.
It's not illegal, but it is corrupt. I mean,
yes.
So there's a nuanced difference between things that are illegal are corrupt, but not all corruption is illegal, and that's what Greenwald does. He will write the bill so that specifically Camden will benefit in terms of the tax credits. The Democrats will, just like good soldiers, will pass the bill, and off it goes. The gates are open, everything's legal, and the parade starts. It's just that the people that live in town are on the outside looking in. That's the problem.
Yeah, it definitely is, and that's why I labeled this segment the Washington on pause. It's because it's almost like they don't care about their constituents. People that are elected officials, they get in, and looks like we might have Seth coming on. I know he's having some camera issues, but so hopefully he pops on in a minute. Mm-hmm. But they're worried about themselves. They're worried about re-election, worried about this and that, and they don't care about their constituents. And you can see it. You can see when they pass these bills that come through. I mean, even like the Norcrosses, they were indicted twice for racketeering.
Yeah,
from those that were passed that funneled through their the brothers' firm and everything else, and went into their circle of contractors and things like that. One was like the 76ers facility you just talked about, and but they won. But no, the thing is, you're not going to bring in a racketeering indictment on someone if there's not any evidence. So
Right.
they just have to win, and it's coming back again. It's getting the prosecutors appealing it is going to try to get them again, but it's like it's the same thing. I mean, in Washington, once it go on pause,
I just saw where it's all over, that the appeals court upheld the, letting him off the hook.
This had to be yesterday then, because there was a different article I read yesterday that they're pursuing it again. So
maybe they're okay, maybe they've started out a different angle. I don't know. But,
maybe I just read it yesterday. It was another article that was out there how they're trying to pursue and bring back the indictment, which whatever. If they did something wrong, they should get in trouble for it. If they didn't do anything wrong, then they shouldn't get in trouble for it. So they're writing. If there's something there, there's something there. I would say, but it's just like they want to pause in Washington pause. They want to use leverage and shut down government, and it's going to hurt people. And they always do this. They do it for votes, and we'll get into that in the second segment too. But it's just like they always play with people's lives. They don't care. You're supposed to support the people you represent. They elected you for that. But then they'll say, well, I want to shut down Washington because I want to abolish ICE. I want to abolish DHS. It's like, really?
So you mentioned that transitioner or transitioner lawsuit. Did you mention that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And now that's interesting because that's going to change a lot of things. All along this business with transgender ideology, teaching in schools, there's been debates back and forth, just ad nauseum. And I've always felt that the only thing that's going to put a stop to all of it are lawsuits. And this may be the first step where the detransitioner turns around and starts going back upstream. And I don't know who exactly they sued, but I know there were doctors and surgeons, that performed the operation.
Yes.
And I know some lawsuits are going after drug companies and going after insurance companies. But right on the horizon has to be public school systems, because it all starts in kindergarten. They start the kids down this transitioning track beginning in second and third grade. So, they've got some guilt here in this whole process. This is not something that happened, at the very end. This started early. And I think once they start suing the school systems, that'll start changing the curriculum. They'll be able to accomplish something that all the activist groups, have not been able to accomplish. So
yeah,
I think if they come back and sue Cherry Hill School District, they'll change the curriculum, because it's going to affects hundreds, thousands of kids.
Yeah, it does.
And they get 12 years. They get 12 years of gender ideology training, education in New Jersey. So it's part of the curriculum. And the only thing that's going to stop that will be lawsuits.
Yeah, it's the money.
Yeah,
because that's the whole thing. I mean, they're doing it for the money. Number one, to mutilate these children and tell them they could be this, that, and the other, because it's a lot of money involved in surgeries. And now, if they start losing money on it, then yes, then it's going to make a big difference. This first lawsuit, there's the one. So
yeah, and people should not lose sight of the fact that this is all made possible by the Democratic Party, whether it's the Democratic Party of New Jersey or of the country, because the curriculum on all these trans laws and regulations were introduced by Democrats. None of them were introduced by Republicans. And there was no Republicans that co-sponsored with any of these. And virtually every Republican voted against all of these bills. So, this is the Democratic Party that's making this all possible. And it's one of the main reasons New Jersey is in dire straits.
Yeah, definitely is. And the thing is, Jack, what I don't understand with a lot of people out there, a lot of voters, Republicans, grassroots Republicans, that we're not saying anything bad about people that are transgender, people that feel that way. It's just keep it off the kids, because that's the only thing. It's like let them make their decision. I don't care if even they recommend 19 years old, and I know why they did. It's because they want to avoid the lawsuits. But still, when you're 19, okay, you're an adult. You can make a decision. If you're old enough to vote, you're old enough to go to war, you're old enough to buy a pack of cigarettes or whatever. I mean, not alcohol yet, but still. But it's still just I don't understand why people look at it like, oh no, you can't. You're Nazis and you're evil because you won't cut the breast off of a 12-year-old girl. You know what I mean? That thinks that she might be a boy and is confused. I don't know where our society is going to where it's pushed so far like this, and it's like it's a common sense. Like it's like no, don't cut off a little boy.
There he is.
There's Seth.
Hey,
he's there. He made it.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, I don't know. My computer, the camera and mic was working everywhere else but Restream.
Oh.
So I just had to come back out and come back in. I guess it reset it. Now it's working.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. So we were just talking about we went off. We were talking about the Washington on Paul. They're open now. It is open, and how they play around with constituents. And then we just got into the breaking news, which was the lawsuit that was just won by a girl who was transitioned when she was a minor and double vasectomy, and now she turned around and said, "Wait a minute, I was a kid, and I'm detransitioning," and won a lawsuit because that's what the doctors and everybody had her do. So we're just talking about how it's going to be. It should probably be a game changer, with this first big lawsuit one.
Well, it should be. I mean, I'm pretty sure the Hippocratic Oath still starts with first do no harm. I mean, it's the job of a doctor is not to harm you; it's to help you. And whacking off perfectly good genitalia, I don't think falls under helping people. I think that falls under the whole don't harm people. So I'm glad.
The American Academy of Pediatrics came out in 2018, fully in support of gender-affirming care, and that's puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones, surgery, even for minors. And to this day, I don't think they have reversed their position at all. So,
I mean, when I hear stuff like that, I always remember also that Hitler was elected. So there's idiots and assholes everywhere in the world at any time. They're out there. So it doesn't surprise me that people who are learned think that it's okay to do that to children. And it doesn't shock me at all. What shocks me is the parents that allow them to do that to their children. That's what shocks me.
Yeah,
me too. So it was actually Seth. It was the association that came out. I'm just going back to this breaking news. It's one of the largest plastic surgeons group. It's the American Society of Plastic Surgeons. So they're the ones that and said this, that you can't, they won't recommend it until they're 19 to make their own decision. And the reason why is because they're getting sued for doing it to a minor. So if they're 19 to make the decision, they can't sue them. So it's not out of good kindness. It's out of being not getting sued. So
it's like wrong, they go, "I'm sorry." You're not sorry for what you did. You're sorry you got caught. That's how it works.
How can the school systems not be complicit in this?
They are.
Because they start in first and second grade and put these kids on this path. So all along the way, everybody has their fingerprints on these kids. Mm-hmm. They all are liable, in my view. They should go right back to the school systems.
Well, you got to remember the teachers' union is just as powerful and dangerous as the mob. Nobody's going to mess with them because the first thing they do is if you mess with them, you don't like teachers, you're anti-teacher, and then they put you to that keyhole. Then you got to fight out of that. It's a racket, and I think with all the fingerprints that are on kids, the ones that are missing are the parents' fingerprints. They've just thrown their hands up and said, let the school knows better than me, or the doctors know better than me. I'll let them raise my kids and make those decisions. That's what's shocking and disgusting to me. I would never in my life, if my son came to me now and said, look, I think I'm a girl, I'm not running right to the doctor to have him castrated and injected with stuff. We're going to talk to somebody who's a professional.
Right.
To let them sort that out, because I don't have the facility or the ability to talk to him about that. But my first instinct is, oh, goody, I can brag about this at the PTA meeting next week.
I mean, if you have a psychological condition, it's not going to be physical surgery that's going to fix it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I agree with that.
Many times these kids self-diagnose. They've got an array of issues. They have issues at school. They have, low self-esteem. So they've got, an assortment of issues, and they self-diagnose and come in and say, I'm gender dysphoric, as though they are those certified psychiatrists. They got to go back. They got to roll it all back before they start.
And I think parents got to remember that your child's brain is not fully developed till they're 24 or 25. So before that, it's all magical thinking. Everything's the end all be all. My girlfriend left me. My world is over. It's things like that. And they got to keep that into account when their kid goes, hey, I feel like I'm Tracy, not Tony. Let's take a minute. Pump the brakes.
Yeah.
You were just eating paste 2 years ago. We're not making any major life decisions right now.
Well, all right, guys. Well, listen, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to go into the next segment after this. So that's our producer. Let's take a break, and we'll be right back.
America's Pulse Network. The mainstream media is bought and paid for. The truth is twisted to fit their agenda. But America is waking up because podcasts are the future for trusted media. Welcome to the America's Pulse Network. It is a network built by patriots that upholds the Constitution. The America's Pulse Network stands for God, truth, and the America First movement. There is no corporate propaganda, no government spin, just real news, real talk, and real voices fighting for faith, freedom, and the future of this great nation with common sense. Here are some of America's Pulse Network podcasts. Alexandra Levine Live, hosted by Alexandra Levine. Jersey Shore Podcast, hosted by Damon Galdo. The Conservative Corner, hosted by Seth Eisenberg. APN's The Pulse, hosted by Alexandra, Damon, Elana, and Seth. So tune into America's Pulse Network on the following social media platforms: X/Twitter, Rumble, Truth Social, Parler, Facebook, and YouTube. Join the revolution. Because the pulse of America beats for God and country. America's Pulse Network is for faith, family, freedom, and truth.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of The Pulse, brought to you by the Great America's Pulse Network. And just want to remind everybody, like and subscribe, and you can go into the chat if we're watching on X or YouTube or Rumble, and you guys can put a message in there, a question, or make a comment, and we'll be able to see it on the screen as well. So, so this episode here, this segment here, control chaos or strategic power play. And it kind of piggybacks off the first one with shutdown or not. And it's just, I want to play this first clip, and we'll just see where the Democrats are with this. How they just play with people all the time, play with their constituents, don't care about them. They just worry about their power plays. So let's roll this first clip.
Have the high ground and standing on the side of the American people with respect to ICE. ICE and the Department of Homeland Security need to dramatically change. And absent that, then a full year appropriations bill is in deep trouble. We clearly have.
Yeah, I just want to go in with that. Number one, that guy he's retarded. He is. I know that Seth, how you reference something to him once in a while. I forget how you put it, but it's hilarious. But it's like, they want to defund ICE now, and they wanted to defund the Department of Homeland Security. It's like, are you kidding me? Because they want to get their way, and so they basically it is like controlled chaos is what they're trying to do, and that's exactly what it is. They need chaos before the midterms. And this is all a ploy. They're going to start ramping this up, and they're going to defund this, defund that. And I don't know if it's going to work for them or not. But it typically does, though, for these Democrats. So, Jack, what do you think?
Well, it's really difficult to listen to them on the news. It's really difficult because the lies are so blatant and the half-truths are just all over the place. They have to get, if they really want to change, they got to get to the root cause. And the root cause is in the legislature. It's in the laws. So they should be screaming at Amy Klobuchar because she has not submitted an amendment to the laws into the Senate. That would fix everything. She's got to present her case, make the case to the Senate, pass the law. Because ICE, they're just following the rule of the law. And if they don't like it, ICE is not the right outfit. They're not going to change. They can't change the law. So that's, I think that's where they're missing the boat here. Right.
No, you're right.
Other than that, I think aside from the fact that, you have Marxist elements, you've got all of the worst elements, in this stew of people that have no idea why they're even there. And, can't put two sentences together about a position on anything. It's just anarchy. It's just a waste. So,
yeah. And Seth, go to you. Yeah, I'm going to do the same thing. It's Jack and I talked about in the first segment about like how people don't see this. When we're talking about the transgender issue and all that stuff, but I know mainstream media, they're bought and paid for by Democrats pretty much, and they are what they are.
Yeah, look, the Democratic Party is the most corrupt organization in the history of this country. They are criminals every place you turn, behind every awful thing that takes place, even the transgender stuff, all the embezzlement, open borders, drugs, failing schools, riots in the street. Who is at the root of it all? It's the damn Democratic Party.
Yeah, they are. They are. Not even Republicans aren't perfect, but everyone's flawed. But
no. This is they're at a whole new level.
Well, no, that's what I was getting into because I wanted to say this to Seth too because I got to get with Sammy the Bull again because I actually dropped. I've been hammering him in a while because he said he was going to come on by the end of January and missed that boat. So, but when I had the first interview with him, this is Sammy the Bull Gravano, who murdered like 30 people that we know of, and he was in the mob. He's a Republican now. He's been out of jail, and he seems like he's got his legs under him and he's doing good things and whatever. I don't know him that personally well. But one thing he did say to me, he said that the mob, he said, we were Boy Scouts compared to the Democrats.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. So
Amy Klobuchar and Ilhan Omar, they are the people that should be going to the Senate on one side, Congress on the other, and present their amendments to the law. It's no more complicated than that. Leave these poor guys alone. And until that happens, they're going to keep on rolling.
Yeah.
Because of what Biden did. Remember, the root of all this was the open border. It's the only reason we're here.
And I think what a lot of people are missing with these laws, they're unconstitutional, they're illegal. Until a judge rules that, they are not unconstitutional. They are not illegal. That's the law of the land. And
That's right.
like he was saying, unless they change that law, the laws they're enforcing are legal and they're constitutional. People don't understand that. You can't say a law is illegal if it's being enforced. It's until it's ruled on by a court that says, no, this is not a legal law. Then it's an illegal. You can't do it. Until then, it is the law of the land. It must be adhered to, and you must follow it. Yeah. It's that simple. People don't. And again, it's because Democrats put their feelings into everything.
Right.
I don't like this law because it's mean, so I'm not going to follow it. Well, you're breaking law then. You can't dumb it down any more for a liberal than law must follow. No law, no follow. Fire hot. It's snow cold, water wet. They don't grasp simple concepts like that.
Yeah, one of the senators, the way he put it was, the legal system is not a buffet,
right?
Where you can take a little bit of this and a little bit of that. It's all there, right?
Yeah.
Oh, just to remind Damon, I usually say when it comes to Mr. Jeffries, whatever his name is, God ruined a perfectly good penis when he put ears on him.
I always forget what that was.
And that's another. Speaking of that, with dickheads, finding police or ICE on the street, you're going to lose. You have no legal right to resist arrest on the street. You have a right to fight it in court if you think it was illegal, but you cannot resist arrest. That's why it's a crime to resist arrest. And if you resist arrest on the street, police don't have to follow a rule book. They don't have to go, well, he pushed me, so I can only push him back. Police are allowed to use whatever force is necessary to overcome the force they're facing. So if you push the cop and he thinks, hey, I got to use my taser, he can tase you. He can do everything short of mortal damage. He can't shoot you because you push him, unless he can articulate, look, I was 5'2", this guy was 7'8", weighed 500 pounds. There's no way I could physically handle that guy. I had to shoot him. But if you fight with the police or ICE on the street, you're a criminal. As soon as you push them or tell them no, you've just become a criminal. People aren't grasping this. If you have a problem with ICE and what they're doing, take it to court. Find a news outlet that'll let you do it. Record it. Do what you have to do. But going on the street like that good lady and that other dude and getting in law enforcement's face and telling them, no, I'm not moving. No, I'm not doing it. You are going to lose that battle. Unfortunately, those two fools caught a bullet. But you will lose that battle because you are in the wrong. I don't know. And Democrats will push, no, you can do that. Go fight them. Go cause disturbance. Do what you got to do. If you keep listening to, number one, let people listen to Democrats because that's going to weed out the weak. It'll be just, hey, if you're dumb and listen to Democrats, you die. The smart people will be alive and we'll all be better for it as a society in a few years. But if people keep listening to Democrats, the jails are going to get full pretty quick because they're going to lock people up.
Cool. And then going off of that, you talked about penises and criminals. That's going to take me to my next clip. Let's roll this next clip.
We want to take you to Los Angeles, where journalist Don Lemon spoke moments ago after being granted bond.
And that is covering the news. The First Amendment of the Constitution protects that work for me and for countless of other journalists who do what I do. I stand with all of them, and I will not be silenced. I look forward to my day in court. Thank you all.
Seth, I know I didn't prep you for this. You came on late, so you didn't know. But when you were talking about penises and criminals, I'm like, that's a perfect segue to that clip.
I was going to say, I saw what you did there. It makes perfect sense now that I see it. I'm like, yep, I can see the penis reference.
But he talks about
spend a lot of time.
Yeah,
he talks about time in jail.
Yeah, he should. I mean, he's saying he had his rights taken away. But no, he didn't. I mean, he's. But what about the First Amendment right that also interferes with religious freedom? The government, basically alleges that the protests interrupted a Sunday worship service at a private church, and it was St. Paul.
They were not invited in,
and they were asked to leave.
Yeah, they impeded the congregants' First Amendment right to free exercise of religion. So he wants to talk about his violation of his First Amendment right. No, he was he coordinated with these people to go in there and do that. So he violated their rights. So I don't want to hear it from Don Lemon, and I'm never going to stop you. You know, I'm going to keep coming. Like, no, shut up. You're washed up, loser. You know, and you were. But, so
well, number one, the First Amendment doesn't give you the right to be unruly, loud, disruptive, and rude. It gives you the right to peaceful assembly to redress your grievances to the government. Nowhere does it say you can barge into private property. Can you cause a disturbance? Can you intimidate or frighten people? Nowhere in the First Amendment does it say that. And people forget that. They think it means I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, wherever I want, and I'm covered by the First Amendment. No, you're not. That's why Don Schmuckface is facing charges based on the FACE Act, because he violated their First Amendment right to peaceful assembly at a church. And he didn't just walk in it like, if you listen to him, his story is, I was just walking down the street, minding my own business, happened to have a camera crew and a microphone with me because that's how I travel. I walked by this church and all of a sudden all these people rushed in there. And I was like, well, what's going on in there? I'm a journalist. I should get in there and cover what's going on. I have no clue what's going on. And I just happened upon it. He wants you to think he had no knowledge of what happened and he lucked out. He planned it. He was there when they talked about it. He bragged about helping set it up. He needs to go to jail. He violated their First Amendment right. He's not even a journalist anymore. He got fired.
Yeah.
And he's just an asshole.
I think that FACE Act, that's going to be hard to avoid jail. That's a pretty major violation.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, for sure.
But he's the videos of people in the church. There's kids crying. They're screaming and yelling, running around. And it was horrible.
Yeah,
I think they thought they were going to be killed. You know, it was like a terrorist.
You're right about that. Because how many shootings, like school shootings, church shootings, have happened? And you have a bunch of people bust in there. I would think the same thing. I'd be rushing my wife and daughter, my son, out the back door as fast as I possibly could, thinking that something was going down like that. That's why you have all these people scared. It's like,
well, they're lucky they didn't have armed guards at that church, because it could have been, they could have shot people. If I were an armed guard there and these people come rushing in the door, the first thing I'm doing is grabbing my weapon. Like, what's going on? Y'all, everybody get down. This is ridiculous. Put your hands up. They didn't come in quietly.
You're right. They were lucky that they didn't get shot.
Exactly. And I wouldn't have felt bad if they had. I wouldn't have cared. Some people get shot, I feel bad for. Like, hey, you're stupid. And just because you're stupid doesn't mean you should get shot. I feel bad for you. But if you kick in a church door and go running in and screaming, you're begging to have someone park one in your head. You're begging for lead poisoning. Because in some of these churches now, they've got off-duty cops that stand by the door with guns for that very reason, because people will act the fool. And like Jack was saying, you don't know what people's intentions are anymore. Someone comes into church screaming and yelling. You're like, oh, shit, this guy's going to shoot the church up. You don't know. You can't assume, oh, he's just here to protest. You can't, because if you assume that, people die. You have to assume that, which is unfortunate. But in this country now, when that happens, you have to assume the worst, that they're coming in to hurt people. I got to stop them before they hurt these people.
That's right.
Jack said, like, I agree. They were lucky they didn't get shot.
Yeah, and Jack, with these agitators that are out there, they're paid agitators as well. But you look at Renee Good getting shot. Now, yeah, she almost ran the ICE officer over, and he suffered internal bleeding from it. And no, you have to react in a second. So I don't blame him for shooting. Right. And then when it comes to the other guy,
Petty.
Petty, yeah. So and it's like, oh, he was just a regular protester that showed up with a loaded gun with 2 magazines, and then you see the video from the week before of him kicking the taillight off of an ICE vehicle, and he got pushed down to the ground.
Just a Minnesota dad.
Yeah, he was just a normal guy. Just a normal guy.
Yeah,
I know. If you have a CCW, you are not allowed to carry your gun to protest. That is part of the law. You cannot carry a gun to protest in bars and like schools and other places. That's part of the licensing. If you do that, you lose your license. Is that the same state he was at? Because if it is, he violated the law. He should not have carried his gun to a protest.
Yeah, I don't know if Minnesota law has that in there. I know what you're talking about. They do have that in New Jersey.
It should be.
Yeah, it probably. I'm just not sure about it. So, but But still,
it's amazing how all of a sudden the Democrats became supporters of the Second Amendment.
They're all two-way advocates now.
Concealed carry, come on.
They go wherever the wind blows. Yeah, they go wherever the wind blows. It's like, oh, the Maryland ad, we're going to fly over to Venezuela or wherever that was. We're going to have a margarita with your Congress. Your senator
Van Hollen. Van Hollen.
Yeah. So it's like, come on, man. Wherever the wind blows. Oh, now we're the second. You're right, Jack. Now we're for the Second Amendment because he should have been able to carry his gun to protest. But then someone else gets shot. It's like, oh, get rid of all guns. Get rid of the Second Amendment. It's like, come on, man. Just be real about something. I want I just want people to just be consistent, be real, and I want people out there, all the listeners, and listeners see it because they're watching this show. But talk to your that don't see it, and say, well, where do you stand? You're either here or you're there, and you just go where the wind blows, and then you take this movement on, and this movement on, and that movement on, and it don't make sense. I'm so tired of it. I really am, and we're going to get into it further in the fourth segment with the Grammys. That one pisses me off. But we're going to take a quick break again because we go into our third segment, talk about the Epstien files and how it's still haunting powerful people. And one of them is Bill Gates. So we'll take.
Welcome to America's Pulse Network. This is APN's very own White House correspondent, Alexandra Levine.
This is so amazing and miraculous. We've never had a president in the history of our nation doing this. And we hope to God that he continues doing this forever and ever. Thank you. God bless you, everybody. And God bless President Trump.
And God bless you.
Hello, everyone. This is Alexandra Levine with the America's Pulse Network. I am the White House correspondent right here in the heart of D.C. as President Trump is celebrating 250 years of America and the military.
Subscribe and follow America's Pulse Network on the above social medias.
Boo.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to segment 3 to the Pulse. Thank you for staying tuned. So, and remember, everybody, like and subscribe. And you can go into the chat box on X or Rumble or whatever you're watching on. You can, put a statement in there, ask a question. We'll see it and we'll answer it for you. So, this one is Epstein files. Still haunt the powerful. And first, both the Clintons said they weren't going to go into follow that subpoena to the congressional, question that they want. But now that they said they're going to. But what I saw, which was already known, Bill Gates, why his wife divorced him because he was so close to Epstein. And then what this just came out, we'll play like part 1 of this clip right now, just so everyone can see. So let's roll that.
Your ex-husband, Bill, is named in the newest tranche of Epstein files. And there are a new alleged details about his past behavior. And I want to give you the opportunity to respond in whatever way you want to.
Now, on my end, it was kind of freezing up. I know we're having a little technical difficulties, but I don't think that for listeners out there, I don't think.
Did she respond?
She's going to. So no, she's about to do that. But I just wanted to stop it there and do the rest because you'll see when she's asked a question about him getting the STD and him trying to sneakily feed her antibiotics so she doesn't get it.
What do they expect this poor woman to say?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, she says
he was trying to feed her the antibiotics. Was it like a dog? She was wrapping it in cheese and trying to force it down her throat. Just eat the cheese. Don't worry about the pill.
I don't know. Maybe it's baking into like a cake or something. No, who knows?
Just throwing them in her mouth.
The lady, ask her. She's like, you don't have to go. I know how it is, but you don't have to say it. But there's just been this, and she said what allegations were, and she doesn't deny it. She just, but she doesn't go into it. So let's roll that other one real quick, and that's the rest of the segment.
Embarrassed for her.
Yeah, I know. So let's play that other.
Was
clip.
there?
So
Yeah,
I know
more
our
words
producer.
to the mock for context for our listeners. The emails in the files suggest that Bill Gates had additional affairs and that he tried to get medication to treat a sexually transmitted infection, and that he was going to give you the medicine without you knowing. His representative has said all of this is false. It is not on you to have to respond to the details of that alleged behavior, but I wonder what your dominant emotion is when you read these news articles with these details.
Sad. Just unbelievable sadness. Unbelievable sadness, right? And again, I'm able to take my own sadness and look at those young girls and say, my God, how did that happen to those girls, right? And so.
All right, guys. So it looks like the clips are kind of like spotty a little bit. They're freezing up for whatever reason. I think honestly, a lot of people are home. We had a lot of snow here in New Jersey and everywhere else throughout the country. So a lot of people aren't out. They're home using their Wi-Fi. But yeah, it was a sad thing. And she just said unbelievable sadness. She didn't deny it at all that he tried to, I would say, drug her with antibiotics because he gave her an STD that he got from Epstein's Island. And that's why she left him. I mean, it was known that's why she left him, because he was friendly with Epstein and he went and visited him in jail and everything else. So, I mean, this guy's, all this stuff is coming out. Feel bad for her, but at least she made the decision to get out when getting out was good. So what do you think, Jack?
Yeah, I would think her dominant emotion would be to punch that reporter right in the nose, because I mean, what can you say? I mean, I would say she's saying she's hurt. That's probably she's betrayed. Every emotion you can think of. She's angry. She feels betrayed. She hates him. She hates the woman that asked the question. Hates Epstein. Everybody. Would rather not even be there. I mean, it's just, and it's just going to get worse. I mean, I think they had pictures of Prince Andrew on all fours, over some young girl, or over a woman or a young girl. It's hard to tell.
I missed that one. Not that I want to see it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's. I think they're still holding back from all the bad stuff. Believe it or not, they probably have some pretty raunchy, out and out porn that they're holding back on.
I think they do,
because that was the whole purpose of people going down there, right? And I think Clinton's that they'll just plead the Fifth Amendment, right, for their whole time. They have no obligation to answer any questions.
None at all.
No. That's what, like Seth always says, nothing comes out of these congressional hearings. It's just a show. And no one's going to go to jail. No one's going to get penalized or punished for breaking the law or doing
it seems that way. They go on. Well, they've been going on for decades.
Yep.
No one's ever gone to jail except on the Trump side. They all went to jail.
They're just, I mean, those hearings are just not as exciting as the WWE. Same blood vein, same type of show, but just not as exciting as WWE.
Yeah. If there's no perp walk, what's the point?
Why spend money on it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, like I said before, like I torture myself and watch like every congressional hearing because I just want to see what's going on and see how it happens. But
yeah,
it's
the
like,
thing people
like
have to understand, except all these Trump disorder syndrome people. These files were in the possession of the Democrats and Joe Biden for 4 years. And if they have any idea that Trump was part of this, they would have found out for sure. Absolutely. They would have nailed him. There's nothing in there.
That's what kills me again.
He's the cleanest individual in America. He has been audited on a daily basis.
Well, other than his personal stuff that he did, but
that's personal. But his tax returns are probably cleaner than mine.
I'm sure they are. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, but yeah, he found every loophole, whatever it might be. But hey, he went by the law. But I'm saying, did he, cheating on his wife, grab him by the pee, the statement that he had, and all that? But yeah, so everyone's flawed in some way. But you look at Clinton's. I mean, I guarantee that Hillary was involved with some. I would just bet on it. I'm not saying I know anything. I don't, but I would just bet on it.
Yeah, be careful.
Hillary, I'm just joking if you're watching. So, honey, lock the doors. So, put the cameras on.
I am not suicidal.
But yeah, man. I mean, it's so messed up. And again, I don't understand why people don't see this. Like, how do you not realize? Like,
because they don't want to see it.
Because but like Jack said, but they had these files with all this stuff for years. They wanted to bury Trump in any way, shape, or form. They tried to bankrupt him. They tried to throw him in jail. They tried to kill him. I mean, all this stuff. If we had something on him with the Epstien files, they would have put it out there. But now, the Democrats say, "Oh, Trump's involved. He was mentioned like 1,000 times. Epstein files." Yeah, well, he knew him from the 90s, and then they threw him out of Mar-a-Lago in like early 2000s. So it's like, sure, it was mentioned, but they would have used it. But people were like, "Oh, Trump's involved. It's like I hate mainstream legacy media so much because they're bought and sold, by the Democrats.
Yeah. I wonder why the FCC does not intervene on these networks, because the prime example, that 5-year-old little boy, a week or so ago, where the father abandoned this little boy and ran away from ICE, and they tried to bring it back to the mother. She slammed the door, so he was completely abandoned by his mother and father. Yet the story came out that ICE ripped this little boy away from his parents, right?
Yeah, ripped him out of school.
I think there's a greater level of responsibility required by the networks. And frankly, as a citizen, and we support these networks, right? We expect more. We don't expect to be lied to like this. No, in fact, we really should demand more. They should not be getting away with stuff like this.
They get away with it because we let them. And they're saying what people want to hear. So if I don't like Trump and they're telling me how evil Trump is, I'm not going to correct it, even if I know it's bullshit. I'm not going to correct them because I agree with it. Yeah, I tore that kid away from his parents. That's right, they did. Even though I know it's complete and utter bullshit, I'm not going to correct it because it makes Trump look bad. I'm going to let him go.
I know why they do it. It's just they have an obligation, I think, to the public, not from an entertainment standpoint, but from an accuracy standpoint.
You're thinking about people with honor and integrity. If you're thinking that and the media don't go hand in hand, if it bleeds, it leads. They don't care. They're looking for ratings and money.
Yeah, Trump has brought this up before the FCC. So I know it's crossed his mind.
And it's not just that. It's elected officials. And I'm just going to use this because it's going to be who I'm running against. Donald Norcross. He posted it on his Facebook page. The picture of the kid with ICE like holding on to his backpack, saying they ripped him from the school, used him as bait, and all this. And
fish bait.
I looked it up, and then it was nothing like that. The father
they trolled him off. They trolled him off the back of a boat.
So I responded to him to Norcross with his pen. I'm like, I said, you should be ashamed of yourself using his child for publicity for votes and all that stuff, because that's what you're doing. Like, you should really be ashamed of yourself for putting this out there. And he knew. I know he knew. Definitely, because the information was already out there. Like, not the initial reporting, but by the time he posted it and the real information came out, the real information was out before he posted it. So he already knew, and he still did it anyway.
So he knows that his voters don't care. They don't care about the truth. People who support him, they don't care. They want to hear all that sensational stuff, all that crazy. Look how evil everybody is except us. That's what they want to hear, and he knows it. He'll get votes for that. Even though the truth came out, those people don't care about the truth. They're all about their feelings. And if it aligns with their feelings, they're going to support it. And that aligns with their feelings. They don't care about the truth, man. Not at all. Like I said, you're trying to equate honor and integrity to people who have neither, and will never have any of it. It's just how it is. And that's how you got to deal with these people, like idiots. You got to talk to them like they're retarded monkeys. You got to dumb everything down, or they're just going to ignore it. Even then, they're going to ignore it, but at least you tried. And then it comes to a point where you just got to stop trying. Let them live in ignorance. Who cares?
Yeah.
Well, I care because they vote.
Well, yeah, but there's nothing we can do about that.
Yeah. It's like,
unless we start making IQ tests required to vote, which I think we should.
Good point. All right. That's it. That's my first legislative bill I'm going to pass for the elected. So
nice. I like it.
I think I'm going to draw something up on that one. I'm going to put that on my platform on the website. Vote Damon.
You must have an IQ higher than a houseplant to vote.
No, I was watching. Before we take the next break, I was watching this a comedian, Ben Bankus or whatever. I just stumbled across him on Facebook Shorts and all that stuff, and he mentioned something about it was kind of funny, but he was like, I really think he was talking about like Renee Good and all that, and he has no filter. Like, he was just going into it, and it was funny, but it was kind of bad. Like, when she was killed, but still, it was kind of funny the way he put it. But he was just like, I think our forefathers really had it down. They knew it 250 years ago. It's like, don't let these bitches vote. Don't, because they're crazy. All the white liberal girls. When he said it, my wife was watching with. I'm like, she started cracking up. But it was comedy. But it had made a little sense. Even Elana, our podcasters on the polls said it. Say, I think women shouldn't be in politics because they're
too emotional.
The more I see liberal white women in the world, the more I understand the Salem witch trials. I'll just leave it at that. I'll just leave it like that.
Yeah. Almost 30 hours of my new laptop. But okay, guys, we're going to take another quick break, and we're going to go into the Grammys and how wonderful they were. And so we'll go into that. So let's take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Hey, it's great to be on with you. This is a great podcast. It's a lot of fun, and it's informative, and it's real information. It's none of the frills and none of the nonsense that you hear on the legacy media, just telling the story of what's happening right now. It's what I do with my newsletter that I get out to anybody who wants to see it. It's what you're doing with this podcast. America needs to know what the real deal is, and you're the real deal.
Monk. What'd you do? We're living on stolen land. That crap.
Was that Damon in a coat and tie? Did he have a tie on?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I was interviewing Congressman Jeff Van Drew, and he gave me a half-hour interview, and I didn't expect that.
So Van Drew, he gets, he rates a tie. We rate an orange.
Yeah, what's up with that?
He got an orange.
I guarantee you're probably not even wearing pants.
No, I don't wear pants. I took that out of your book. So,
well, I'm not wearing pants, so we're good. And did you see my post on when you were interviewing him? I said, "Jersey Shore and a tie? Say it ain't so."
Well, I'm running for Congress, and I was interviewing a congressman. And I figured I'd throw a tie on. It was funny too. I had to run home for that one. We were on snow removal. We build commercial buildings. My company, and I build them for. They have a lot of trucks on the road. So they have contracts in Philadelphia to remove snow. So we have to load out, dump trucks. But it's, when they need everybody, they called upon me to go there and work 16-hour days out in the 10-degree weather. And they're loading trucks out of snow, or they take it to a plant and they melt it down. So anyway, I had this interview scheduled with Van Drew. So I know my boss isn't watching, but if you are, I lied to you. I said I had an MRI. And so I flew home. He's cool. I already told him. But yeah, I was like, I got an appointment or whatever. He said, well, yeah. I was like, well, I got an interview with Jeff Van Drew. And I said, I had scheduled. I said, I got to go. I said, I'll be back in like an hour and a half. So I flew home out of 10-degree weather. That's why my face looked in that interview was all like swollen because the heat hit my face. My wife had my shirt, my tie. I'm like, get on, hurry up. We only got a couple minutes. And then he came on, but it was a great interview. He gave me like a 32 minutes of interview. I didn't think he was going to go for that long. I mean, when he goes on Fox, he's on there for like 5 minutes. He's a good guy. I like Van Drew a lot. And then I didn't know he was going to hit me with that, saying America needs to know what the real deal is, and you're the real deal. And I had to keep a straight face until it went off air. And I was thank you, Jeff. Appreciate that. So
nice.
But no, he's a good guy. So this next segment is talking about the Grammys, and this is crazy, man. It's like the Grammys unplugged from reality, pretty much. That's what I labeled that.
Yeah.
And I know we're having trouble with this clip to get it on there, so I don't know if our producer could play it and was going to give it a shot. It's just how unplugged they are. It's unbelievable. It's embarrassing, actually. So if we can roll that clip, hopefully we can play it.
Wow, that moron.
No one is illegal on stolen land. I feel like we just need to keep fighting and speaking up and protesting, and our voices really do matter and the people matter.
I want to say I'm up here as a granddaughter of an immigrant. I wouldn't be here. I'm a product of bravery, and I think those people deserve to be celebrated.
I'm gonna say, eyes out. We're not savage, we're not animals, we're not aliens, we are humans, and we are Americans.
I hope everybody is inspired to join together as a community of artists and speak out against what's going on. And I'm gonna leave this and say, F ICE.
I'm wearing Tom Brown couture tonight. It's a really meaningful look for me because I'm obviously a proud daughter of immigrants, and our story of survival is around clothing manufacturing, and Tom Brown is one of the first brands that my grandpa ever fulfilled orders for. So it's a huge full circle. Thank you.
This is also for those who came to this country in search of better opportunity, to be a part of a nation that promised freedom for all and equal opportunity to everyone willing to work for it.
No one is illegal on stolen land. I feel like we just need to keep fighting and speaking up and protesting, and our voices.
All right, so I'm pretty sure all of us came from immigrant ancestors that came over here, and I just want to say this, and you guys can roll with it afterwards. The first one was Billie Eilish, or how to say her last name. She raised a few eyebrows with the political statement claiming that there are no legal people on stolen land.
Can you name one song that she's ever done?
No, I don't know. But here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. So she also forgot to mention that her $3 million mansion is built on the ancestral land of the I don't know how to pronounce it, the Tungvuk tribe. Is that what is it?
I don't know. I'm making fun of it.
Okay, it's something like that. But so she didn't ask permission, and allegedly never paid them a penny for the pleasure of living on their home ground since her statement. So an LA law-based firm actually offered to serve her an eviction notice as she is living on their stolen land. So she didn't respond to it. Nothing. She didn't say anything about it. But they it's not. They're not going to pursue it, but a law firm actually sent it to her and said, "Hey, guess what?" And representing this tribe that she's living on their land with a $3 million home, and they never gave them any money. So they served their eviction notice. I mean, it's not going to hold up. But hey, you want to go out there and grandstand in front of everybody, and you never had a hard day's life in your life, and it's like, shut up. You're not elected.
Yeah.
All right. I can't stand the actors and the singers going out there and grandstanding, saying everything said. The dude, that guy, Bad Bunny, is going to be playing the Super Bowl, and apparently he was going to wear a dress, but I think Roger Goodell got a lot of heat and said no. We told him he can't wear a dress because it's like, no, shut up. You're rich. You live behind gated communities. You don't even know what regular people go through. I mean, where was the protest for Rachel Moore and Laken Riley and Jocelyn Hungary? Like, where did any of them say anything about that ever? No, not at all. It's like, they're creating.
See the year that Ricky Gervais hosted the Grammys. That was the last good. Yeah. That was the last good Grammys. Yeah, that was the end. Exactly.
Yeah, they won.
Nobody cares what you think. I mean, that might have been the Academy Awards.
I think you're right. I think it was the Golden Globes.
I mean, there was a time when I would schedule my day around the Grammys to make sure, I would watch the Grammys to see the great bands and that sort of thing. Now, it's just a waste of time.
It's a bunch of millionaires patting each other on their back, telling everybody how special and great they are and how in touch they are with the everyday man. And they're not. Like you were saying, Damon, they're not. They don't know what a hard day's work is. They don't know what it's like living paycheck to paycheck. They don't know what it's like, hey, I don't know if I can feed my family or pay my medical bills this month. They have no idea about that, but they're going to sit up on that stage and preach to everybody about how you should live your life, what you should do to be a good person, how you need to be a global neighbor. And like you said, I'm sick of it. Shut up, dance for me, and sing a song. That's all I want to hear from your eye hole is a song. Other than that, I don't care about your politics. I don't care about your religion. I don't care what you think about the weather. I don't care. That's not why I go to the movies. I go to the movies because you can entertain me. You're a puppet. Be a puppet.
Do the court justice. The court justice. Yeah.
The court
and
justice.
Billie Eyelash, whatever her goddamn name is. She's got. Why doesn't she open her doors to the homeless and the immigrants? Why doesn't she let them come stay with her?
Yeah.
Why is it on me? Why do I have to do that?
Were you guys a couple weeks ago when I played that clip of the one guy that was standing outside? He was wearing a Biden shirt, Harris, and he said, "Hey, I've got these 3 immigrants. Do you think they should come in this country?" And he's like, "Yeah, they should all be allowed in." He said, "Oh, I got 3 of them here." And then they walk up to the house, and he says, "Oh, well, this guy has to take this medication twice a day, and this is no." And remember, and he's like, "Whoa, wait a minute, no, they can't come to my house.
They're not coming here."
Yeah.
That's all virtual signaling. That's all they're doing, and it works because people continue to give them money. I haven't gone to the movies, bought an album or anything like that, CD or whatever, in years, and I won't. Every time I see that, I'm like, you know what? I made the right decision. I made the perfect decision. These schmucks are not in touch with reality. You're not going to preach to me about anything when you're sitting in your white tower looking down your nose at me, telling me how I need to live. When you could affect more than I could ever affect. You could make more change in a day than I could do in a lifetime, and you choose not to. You choose to preach to me. So I don't care what you have to say. I wouldn't piss in your mouth if your teeth were on fire. I'm sick of being talked to by people like that. Millionaires telling me how to spend my money and how I should live my life. That's bullshit.
That's right.
Closing thoughts, Jack?
No,
this one.
As far as are concerned, they can cancel the Grammys from going forward.
Yeah.
Or better yet,
it's a waste.
The illegal immigrants come in for the Grammys and feed them and let them sit inside and let them rub elbows with all those famous people. Invite them in. Bring them in.
No, they won't.
For a couple hours.
when they got dropped off Martha's Vineyard, they were shipped out within 24 hours.
Yeah.
So no, they won't let them around them. But no, everyone else has paid a price, and like in New Jersey, we pay $7.3 billion in state taxes for being a sanctuary state and having over 900,000 legal immigrants here, paying for their schooling, their housing, their medical bill, all that stuff. We pay for it. So, and listen, I'm okay with charity. I'm okay with going to church and some, there's a widow there. Her husband just died, and then she can't pay for the funeral, and we take up a collection, give it to her. But I'm not okay with government sticking their hand in my pocket and say we're just going to give it to people that shouldn't be here, especially the people that broke the law twice, once by entering our country illegally, and then actually really broke the law by either like child molestation, raping, whatever it may be, that they're letting them in and out of prison and they won't deport them. The states won't work with ICE. No, sorry. It's not happening. It's not happening. You're sticking your hand in my pocket and telling me where my money's going. Again, the government have money. Well, I wish it was going here, but it's not. So,
yeah, I think the music business.
Right here. I just got it today. So I paid $30,000 in federal taxes and $10,000 in state. It's sickening. I almost threw up my mouth. It just came in today.
Yeah, there's 5 or 6 states, I think, that are looking to get rid of property taxes. Like Florida, I don't know how they do it, but they have no income tax, and they're looking at getting rid of property tax. So, I mean, obviously, the sales tax must be higher, but still.
That luxury sales tax is probably taxed based on what you're buying. More luxury items.
They probably have a lot of people that work.
Are buying stuff.
Yeah, buying stuff, and they're not on government assistance. I mean, and
the companies are moving in, so they get a more corporate tax.
Yeah, corporate tax. It's like Delaware used to be that way. Yep. That's how they operated. They had all the big banks and major corporations there that would pay the taxes because they gave them tax breaks and they helped the people out that live there. So maybe that's it too. New Jersey isn't going to do it. Not on the right.
I read stuff like that, and then I think about New Jersey is just in dire straits. That's all I can say.
It is bad, Seth. I know Maryland just they're the next state that just came out and said that they're not going to cooperate with ICE, the local law enforcement. So I think there were 8 states now that just came out. I heard that today.
And the funny thing is, people are cheering it. And I'm trying to tell people, state law can't trump federal law. You can say what you're not going to do all day long. At the end of the day, if they want to come in, you can't tell them no. They're going to come in.
Yeah, the whole idea of a sanctuary state is illegal. I don't know why that hasn't been litigated.
Yeah, I don't know. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes, fellas. I mean, we gotta keep on keeping on. I mean, I know I'm in the middle of a congressional race right now, and I'd lose. I'm going up against a juggernaut. I'm getting the hell out of this state. Well, and guess what? They're going to tax my ass on the way out too.
Yeah, that's ridiculous too. That's crazy. That's insane.
It's like being in prison. So they're going to keep taxing while you're here. My property taxes are going up $2,000 a year. The energy bills went way up because the stupid windmill farms didn't generate 1 kilowatt of energy. We wasted billions on that. And it's like, it's unbelievable. And then if you want to leave, it's like, oh, you want to leave?
You ain't going anywhere.
Leave.
That seems illegal. That sounds illegal to me because that does impede, the freedom of movement, freedom of travel.
I agree with that.
Like, who came up with that one? An exit tax, like
Democrats.
Yeah,
he's right.
I was wondering who was in office when that went through. I was just curious.
Democrats.
But
it might have been Greenwald.
But there is a hope in Maryland. Dan Cox is running for governor again, and he's a good man. I know him. He's a good man, smart guy, has a plan. Hopefully the Republican Party doesn't throw him under the bus again this election cycle like they did last time, because that's how we got Moore, our governor, is because the MDGOP didn't like Dan Cox and actually helped campaign for Moore and funneled money to his campaign. Yeah, it's a real treat to be in Maryland. Real happy.
Well, tell Dan Cox I would like to have him on the podcast because I'm having a meeting this Friday. A bunch of different candidates throughout the state that run for Congress and state U.S. Senate, and I gather them together. I'm like, listen, we need to work together. Everyone handles their own campaign, obviously themselves, but we can help each other out. And Republicans stick together like Democrats stick together. It doesn't matter. They said it before. If they smothered a puppy in front of everybody, on camera, the Democrats were like, "Oh, they did it for this reason. We got to get behind them." But
it was Trump's puppy.
Yeah. Republicans don't typically stick together, but if we start working together and do this, that's why I've been pushing to get Van Drew on, and I'm going to have these other candidates on the podcast. But we're going to have a meeting this Friday, just to spitball and get some ideas together. And that's what we really need to do. I mean, not just in New Jersey, but across the country.
I agree.
So, and I even reached out to John Fetterman's camp because I've been trying to get a Democrat on here and there because I want to have the conversation with them on the Jersey Shore podcast. And none of them will come on, but I reached out to Fetterman's camp because he's a shocker to me. Like he's more common sense. I don't agree with everything that his policies and all that stuff, but he's more common sense. He doesn't want to shut the government down. Yeah, he likes to do no open borders. All right, let me try to get him on. So his camp did email me back, and I don't know if it's going to happen, but. So they asked me questions on why I want them on, and I sent them some questions stuff like that. So hopefully I get them on. I'm just have Van Drew on. Cool. Yeah, I'd like to talk to him. No one like telling Pete because he won't wear a suit for a long time. I want to be like Fetterman, wear a hoodie. And then Elana yelled at him and said, "No, you have to."
Yeah, she did. She got on him.
Yeah,
with the quickness.
So, Damon, there is a Republican Renewal Summit coming up. Did you see that poster? February 28th.
No.
It's in Mercer County, and we're thinking about going up there. Chairwoman Christine Hanlon will be there. Let's see. I think Dawn Fantasia will be speaking. Paul Kenitra will be speaking. Mike Testa will be speaking. Anthony Bucco, John DeMeo will be speaking. So it might be a pretty good Melanie Dragone from New Jersey FIPAC, Mark Demo from the Election Integrity.
Yeah, unfortunately, I couldn't speak at any network. I have prior commitments.
Might be a place to do networking, Damon.
Yeah, absolutely, it would be.
It's all about networking. I want to network. I want to network everyone on my website and click on that donate button because my opponent has over $2 million already. I have over about $2. So I'm catching up. I'm catching up to him.
Start, man.
But yeah, I'm gonna try. He's got a town hall meeting tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes.
Where is that?
In Haddon Heights.
Haddon Heights.
So, yeah, if you want to go, you're supposed to RSVP and put your name, your email address, your home address, and your question.
Oh.
To be able to be called on. I went before, and I put in my wife and I. Well, we put in our information, and I gave them softball questions like, "What do you see the future of Camden City, in construction?" Like something easy. And when I got there, sat down with Heather, and his assistant went over to him, pointed right at me like this, and Heather's like, "They're pointing right at you." I'm like, "Yeah, he knows who I am," because they're not going to call me.
So, the gig is up.
And two people walking down each aisle with microphones when it came time for questions, to raise your hand for questions. My wife and I, hands go up, and then they just walk right by us, and I turn around, and no one else has their hand up, and they just hand the microphone to people who don't have their hand up. I'm like, what? Yeah. I'm like, man, this is really set up. I'm like, it's crazy.
Yeah, we don't like your kind around here.
That seems legit.
But they pre-screened them that well to where they didn't even have their hand up. So they probably contacted them ahead of time. said,
well, next time you two need to sit apart.
Oh,
so they know you're not together.
Well, I got plans for tomorrow. I got plans. I don't want to divulge them now in case Donnie Boy and Fredo, I call him, is watching. I know he's not, but one of his staff might be. So
it's possible.
I call him Fredo from The Godfather because he's the least successful brother, other than he made it to Congress, but his other brothers have a lot more money. So I could see him just saying, I'm smart. I got passed over.
You broke my heart, Fredo.
Yeah.
Shut up and get in the back.
All-time great movie.
Yeah. Very
good. All right, guys, listen, thanks for coming on. Especially last minute. I know we were missing a couple people tonight, and but it was a fun podcast. Just to make some jokes and have some fun and talk about some real issues. So
yeah,
good. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to sign off, and everyone out there that came on to listen, thank you very much. I'll be back on my podcast, Jersey Shore, on Friday at 8 p.m. We're going to have Alexander Levine live tomorrow at 8 p.m.
In March, there is a new podcast coming on the network.
Oh, is there? Which one is that?
That's Jack and Constance.
Yeah.
That's the New Jersey State House Watch. We'll be talking about the bills going through the legislature. And we're going to pay attention to the bills so you don't have to.
Oh, that's cool.
People need to know what's going on in the state because they've been living with their head up there, for the past 4 years. And the state is in dire straits. That's all I can say.
Well, that's
cool. And they're going to be in studio, their great producers studio. So their background is going to look awesome compared to I'm a little jealous.
So we'll be in studio, and hopefully some of those names that I just read off, we're going to have as guests.
Oh, cool.
So we're going to try to get some muckety mucks of some sort here in Jersey. I'll call them subject matter experts and be polite.
Hey, that sounds better.
Yeah. So should be fun. Should be interesting.
Good deal.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming on. Have a good night. All listeners, have a good night. And stay tuned and stay vigilant and vote Republican.
Okay. Take care, Seth. See you,
Take
Damon.
it easy, Jack.
Yeah. This one's for New Jersey. For every working family that's had enough. Name's Damon Galdo. And I'm just getting started. Job site dust to the streets of the shore. Steel-toed boots, yeah, I know what I'm working for. Middle class hurting, every bill going up. While suits in D.C. say, man, just trust us. I'm a builder by trade, put my sweat in the ground. Now I'm building up hope for my hometown. Jersey's my home, blue-collar soul. I don't make excuses, I get it done, that's all I know. I felt the pressure, I've lived that grind, trying to give your kids a better life. I won't forget where I came from, man, cause I'm built by work. I'm built by working hands, fighting for working families. Not a career man who forgot what hard work means. They talk real big, but nothing ever changes. While Jersey keeps drowning in the same old pain, I'll build a future strong for our kids in this land. I'm Damon Galdo, built by working hands. Yeah. Donald Norcross been there year after year. Same old story while the struggle's still here. Claims he's for workers, but look around town. Rent sky high, grocery bills breaking us down. Where's the relief for the middle class grind? Cause all I see is folks falling behind. I ain't got decades in some DC chair. I got skin in the game, cause my family's here. Time, they had their shot, and tell me, Jersey, what have we got? It's time for change, time for a stand, time for a work, and not another plan, not another plan, not another plan. Yeah! I'm built by working hands, fighting for working families. Not some suit who sold you fantasy. We waited long enough, it's time to demand a future built by honest hands for Jersey strong, for this great land. This ain't left, this ain't right. This is fight for what's right. For every mom working double shifts. Every dad praying they don't miss. I'm running for my kids, running for yours. For a state that deserves so much more. Not talk, that's the plan. Let's build it back with a working man. For our children's dreams, for a better way. I'll fight for Jersey every day. No empty words, I'll take the stand. Cause I'm built by work. Yeah, I'm built by working hands. Fighting for working families. While the old guard keeps playing the same old game. But we're done with waiting, done with excuses. It's time for a man who knows how to do this. I'm building a future strong for our kids in this land. I'm Damon, Galdo, built by working hands. New Jersey 1st District. If you're tired of the talk and ready for work, walk with me. Galdo, Galdo. Galdo, Galdo. Galdo, Galdo. Make the crowd chant with no music.
America's Pulse Network thanks you for watching tonight's episode of the Pulse Podcast. See you at the next packed episode that will take you from breaking news to informative topics. So please click on the subscribe button to get notified for upcoming episodes. If you liked what the Pulse covered, then share the Pulse Podcast with others. APN's The Pulse hosts look forward to seeing you on the next episode.